guys, it's Misty. So I am back. I am looking at today this Roving Tweed. It's from Lion Brand. It was in the haul video that I put up a couple of days ago. If you saw that, then you know that I felt a little uncertain about this yarn. I still am squeezing it. It's insane squishy. You just have to feel it to understand what I'm talking about. So I just wanted to take a look at it and see, am I having trouble with the fluff as when it stitches up? So let's see what we're looking at here. Okay, so for starters, I got this at Joann's. My label is rough. It looks like it's seen some things. That's no judgment on the yarn. It just is. So this is the color sea green. I hope it's showing up. It's got like this really cool coral that sort of turns into a light peach that's running through it. And then occasionally there'll be like this little spot of green. I don't know. I hope you can see that. It's like a green and gold running right there, but it turns into this peachy and then becomes this nice coral color. That is the only different colors that I see in it. It might change as I get to the middle, but so far that's what it's looking like. I was thinking it looks so beachy, this color, but to be a tweed, you know, I don't know. It's just so, it's very unique, this yarn. So I wanted to show you what I'm seeing when I started. I started just to try it out, not on camera, and then I noticed when I pulled it out, let's just say here, not a lot of yarn bark. This really came out, that was it, you know. It pulled out really easily. The only thing I noticed, it has got both strands coming out the top. Not a problem. I just wanted, for those of you who are not as familiar with yarn and how it's caked up, I just wanted to show you a little trick if this happens, because what happens is if you pull from this, eventually this is going to wrap around, and you are going to be dealing with knots all the time. You're going to have to constantly be stopping and unraveling what's happening between these two strands. So I just want to show you this, your short one that's coming out here. If you will look on the other side, most of the time when you look at your yarn, and this is especially if you don't know what side to pull from, if you see a strand of yarn going inside the center, that usually means that the pull piece, the piece you want to work from the center, is on the opposite end. So this, on this end, would be the yarn that is ending on the outside. So if you're a person who likes to pull from the outside, this would be your strand right here. If you're pulling from the inside, which is what I usually do, my strand's going to be on the opposite side of that. So this is that outside strand, but it's sticking all the way through and coming out the other side. That happens a lot, and it gets tangled up in your yarn piece. Also, a lot of times if you can't see it, it can still get tangled in your yarn piece and cause you to like struggle with some knotting. So what you do on any ball of yarn is look and see if you can find the strand that's going down on the inside and give that a pull, and it will come right out for you. Now it's not going to get in the way of your working yarn. And then what I like to do is I like to just kind of ball it up, and I stick it behind my label so that it's not going to come out and get tangled up in anything that I'm doing. So then just turn it back around and you can pull straight from the middle again. So that's just a little tip. And I saw that there happen, and I thought it might be a good way to explain that. So let's take a look here. This is 155 yards of bulky 5. And it is pretty dense. I mean, when I looked at it the other night, I thought, well, it's a little too dense, but on its own, you know, I'm not comparing it to something else. You know, I think it's fine. And with it being roving, it's going to fluctuate. It's going to be thinner in some places and thicker in some places. That is just the reality of having that roving yarn. So, and it honestly, I love a roving style yarn. It really adds to your project, and it really gives it, I guess I like it so much because I'm a fan of a more rustic, natural look in general. I just happen to like that the most. So it gives your projects like this touch of difference and imperfection almost, that gives it a more rustic, natural look, and I like that better than just like standard pieces. So that's an opinion thing, though. It's not, you know, it has no bearing on how I feel about the yarn. So this is, like I said, it's a bulky 5. They're recommending a end hook, 9mm. We have that to try out the yarn. It is by Lion Brand, and I do have links down below. If you want to check out this yarn in particular, you can find that down in the description box. There is a sale, as I said the other night in the haul video, there is a sale going on right now, and I do have affiliate links down there you can click and go straight through. So it's 100% acrylic, 155 yards. I'm trying to see. It's made in Turkey, which I do love that. If you handle a lot of yarn, you can usually tell. And this is so cushy, as I said. I just can't get enough of that. It's machine wash gentle, lay flat to dry. And let's just see what it does. So let's stick this out of the way a little bit and start working up some stitches. All right, so let's start with a chain and see what happens. Okay, I chained about 12, and I just want to look at the stitch definition. I love to see the braid of my chain to see really how I feel like things are going to go. So right off the bat, I can see that halo effect that I'm getting there, whoops, is definitely coming through in the chain. So here's the stitch definition. Let's see if I can get it to focus. It's got pretty definition as far as the chain goes. Let's see what happens when we add some stitches in the mix. I'm going to do a single crochet to start with. And just go straight across with that. Okay, so we have our single crochets in. And the one thing I'm noticing is it does want to kind of run away from you. That you know, that'll work itself out, but it's that soft, cushy feeling that the yarn has, I think, that's really causing it just to, you know, kind of collapse on itself. That's not good or bad yet. You know, I'm not sure what that's going to mean for our work, but here's how the single crochet worked up. The stitch definition is good. It does look nice and pretty. Let's go ahead and do some half doubles and see how that goes. Okay, so here's our half double crochets. Right here, that row. There we go. Here's the front. And here's the back of our half double crochets. They are looking nice. I think the stitch definition is fine. Again, I'm noticing a little bit of pull to this yarn to want to kind of bend up in places. That's not necessarily a bad thing. But if you want something to be more sturdy, I think that this is not going to do it. Maybe if you go down in your hook size, if you wanted to tighten it up and let's say that you wanted to make some sort of a pot holder or something like that, you might want to go down in your stitches. But maybe if you wanted a blanket or something, you know, a little bit softer, you could stick with this, or maybe even go up to a larger size to give it that drape. So far, you know, that's not really impacting my opinion, the softness of it. It is having, the stitch definition is not quite as sharp just because of the fluff, but it's also not bad. I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit more of those brighter colors show up. I'm going to go ahead and do some double crochets and see how that goes. Okay, so there's our double crochets. Again, the stitches look really nice. I mean, there's enough separation there. You can definitely see the stitch definition. Sometimes when you're with a busier yarn, which this actually, as you're working it, just doesn't look that busy. You know, I'm really anxious to see as it transitions into those brighter colors. We're kind of a long way from there. So I think though it's just going to be this gradual thing. I'm looking forward to seeing it happen. So I have to say that it's still kind of a mystery to me. It is definitely soft. It feels so nice just running through your fingers. It is really lovely to work with, I will say that. It's just kind of, and even once, you know, it's a flat piece, it's still very cushy. If it weren't for that fluff effect, I would say pillows and blankets all day. Let's try just pulling it out. This is turning out, I think, a lot like that other the Landscapes Breezes that I did, where when you pull on it in this form, it's coming out a little worse than the Landscape Breezes did, but it's not terrible. Okay, so I have a test that should really work here. This is like a little, it's not velvet, it's just sort of an imitation velvet, and it's a jewelry bag, and it's already, as you can see, it picks up every little thing. Let's try and see what the Fluff Transfer does with this. Okay, so I'm just gonna honestly, let's see. I don't know if that's showing up really good under the lights, but it is way less than I was. You can see, I don't know if you can, I don't know. Let me zoom you in a little bit and see. Okay, as I drag this, just watch what's happening here. Now you can see the fibers being picked up or being pulled, but they're not necessarily coming out. Some of them are, and some of them are being left behind, but it's nowhere near what I thought it would be. So that's really impressive to me. I'm liking it more and more. So it is shedding some, but this is the equivalent of what I would think of if, you know, you had on your black pea coat, and you were wearing a scarf made out of this. You would deal with a little bit of fluff, but honestly, if you're wearing your black pea coat, you're going to pick up everything anyway. So I'm going to do a little test run here since I found these little jewelry bags, and I'm going to lay another one right there. And it has some, I'm trying to get it as clean as we can. If I'd known I was going to do an experiment, I would have brought better tools. But let's take this landscapes. And I'm just going to take some that I pulled out from my review, and let's rub that down. This is the Landscapes Breeze from Lion Brand. Look at that. It's just not, you know, just like I said in the review of this, that shedding effect is just not bad at all with that yarn. Not nearly what I thought it would be. Now, if you can see the comparison here, this one is cleaner than this one. So we definitely did get some fallout. But honestly, this is just basic winter wear fallout. I feel like maybe a blanket would be too much. You know, you might really, you know, well, I mean, you know, it might really cause some fluff to get on your clothes in that large of a scale. But definitely I'm thinking pillows would be okay. Definitely some decorative pieces would be fine. Gosh, a rug. Can you imagine this squishiness in a rug? That would be fantastic. So, but I'm up for suggestions. If you would like to see this worked into a project, leave it down below if you've got any ideas. I am going to give this a ranking here, and I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stitch markers. It's still a little bit of a mystery to me. I'm giving it the 3 out of 5 just because I think it's harder to come up with ideas of where and how to use this just based on the shedding and the thickness and just the nature of it. That being said, it is really beautiful. It's really squishy. It's got great stitch definition. If it were, I would love to actually give it a higher score. But just comparatively to other yarns, it's not quite up there to that level, but definitely worth a try and definitely worth, you know, trying it out and coming up with ideas for it. I would love to come up with some great ideas of how to use this. So let me know. What do you think? What's your opinion? There's links down below, like I said, to this yarn. You can click through and get some for yourself if you want to. This is the color Sea Green. And you guys go out and do something that you love today. Don't forget to take care of yourself. All right? Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.